Hello everyone. This is Tim Hoven, and I've tried to write about 4 or 5 different articles, and I get about 3/4 of the way through, and I can't find a way to conclude them. So they're sitting there in my draft folder, not getting posted to the Substack. So today I thought I'm just going to pull out the phone and record a little message for people, and hopefully that will get my thoughts out of my head and onto my Substack for people to agree with or disagree with, but it doesn't make any sense for them to stay inside my head. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the Maggie Braun event that took place last weekend in Sylvan Lake. There were 2 events going on. The first was a small, intimate gathering of about 30 people. We had 1 MLA, 1 Reeve, I believe 2 mayors, and 5 or 6 councillors from the municipalities in central Alberta. I had to miss the first hour and a half of it. I was in another meeting and couldn't make it there until the session was 3/4 over. But the feeling I got from some of the people was that it was a positive thing. And so much of it, they just didn't understand. And if you attended the evening session, you'll understand what I'm saying about that. Maggie talked about how ICLEI influences city councils. They get involved with FCM, and that information is filtered down. She was talking to one city councilor who didn't understand, who didn't know they were involved with ICLEI, but she showed them the documentation about how their town had signed on to some of their climate proposals. And he or she, I don't know what the sex of the person was, but they were flabbergasted that this went on underneath their nose and they didn't even know about it. But overall, the afternoon session was very good. There are about 30 people altogether, half elected officials and half local leaders who are trying to be active and do things in the local community. The evening session had about 150 people attending. The room was just packed. It was the right size for the right number of people. Maggie spoke for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. That whole video is on Rumble or YouTube. I'll include a link below for you to watch. There was so much information that Maggie tried to present. It started off with her story about how, I'm going to say it's her origin story, about how she was involved with the Freedom Convoy, what happened to her in Ottawa, and then how that motivated her to get involved, to research, and to take action, instead of sitting at home and not knowing what to do next. You know, really watching the video just for that story is worth the price of admission, which is free, of course, because it's on YouTube. Maggie gave a lot of information. I'm glad it was all recorded because there's so many acronyms, so much information. It's good to have that recorded so people can go back and cross-reference and replay and rewind things to make sure they understand it. Do you remember the game Whack-A-Mole? And you'd go to the arcade and you'd put in your dollar, and there'd be a table with about 6 or 7 holes in it, and a little mole would stick his head up, and you get this pad thing, you try to whack it, and it's just a race. You know, it pops up, you try to whack it, you miss, another one pops up, you try to hit it, and it goes on, and it just keeps going until you lose, effectively. Sometimes with all these acronyms and all these different organizations, it feels like we're playing a game of Whack-A-Mole. You do one thing, you think you have a little victory, and then boom, all of a sudden, there's another mole you got to smack. I think of all the things that people in the freedom movement are trying to do right now, and I even hesitate to call it the freedom movement because it's got to be something more than just about freedom. But there's the Alberta Prosperity Project, there's the Alberta Pension Plan, there used to be TBA, all these different groups, all these individuals, all throughout the province, all throughout the country, fighting hard to make things better. And it feels like none of us are getting the traction that we need to have success. What we really need to do locally is look for points of common alignment with these other groups. One person by themselves is just a voice screaming on the internet. 10 people working together can accomplish something. 50 people working together can really make a difference. In fact, the 150 people that we had in that room last week, if we could get alignment on what we want to do, if we could get alignment on what kind of world that we want to live in, we could really make a difference. If there's one thing that politicians are afraid of, it's when people start to organize because they lose control. It really comes down to how you understand how politicians should work. Do you want politicians to lead and take you someplace that they want to go and you'll follow like a good little citizen? Or do you want to be organized, have alignment with a group, say this is where we want the province to go, and then find politicians to take you there? That's what I think we need to do. This is what we want. Find people with common alignment and then move forward to change things. One thing that's going to be coming up in the future is the Central Alberta Municipal Conservatives. It's a group of like-minded people who have found some alignment, and we are getting organized to make a difference in this fall's upcoming municipal and school board elections. So keep watching here, and we will be giving you more information on that. At the end of the Maggie Brown event, I asked everyone to do some homework and to think about what's really important to them and what is worth fighting for. Because to get the world that we want, that's good for our families, that's good for our children and grandchildren, and in fact, it's good for even the people who don't like us and are fighting against us, because it's good for all humans. We're going to have to fight for that, and we're going to have to fight for every dollar that we need to spend on it. We're going to have to fight to find time to get it all done, but it's a fight that I'm willing to take on, and I hope that you will work alongside me. Anyhow, that's it for today. Thank you very much. This is Tim Hoven. Please visit the Substack at timhoven.com. Have a good day, everyone.